What is up, you lovely, beautiful people? I have a conversation that I want to have. So, here we are. We haven't had much content since the Last of Us Part 2 video discussion that I made, but there's something pretty important to me that I want to talk to everyone in the Hollow Knight community about. Just what exactly does this game mean to me? And start with a brief history. How did I first encounter the game? Well, around this time last year, MatPat of Game Theory did a theory on Hollow Knight. And while it was a theory that now, having played and finished the game, I would understand caused much derision in the community, to say the least. It's memeified in the community now. Everybody who's part of it knows what I'm talking about, the knight being the Pale King and all of that. But yeah, around this time last year, MatPat made that video, and it caught my attention. I'm an avid fan of that channel, so I checked it out, and it felt like the game called to me. I saw it, and I was intrigued, and I took a second, and eventually I got it. I got the game, and my God, the first few minutes of the game, I just knew I wanted it on the Switch, which is funny because I didn't have a Switch at the time. But yeah, it felt so right playing it, but at the same time, I knew it would feel better playing it on the Nintendo Switch. I knew at the time that I would be getting a Nintendo Switch, so I held off. I stopped playing it on PC, and that was that. For quite a while, that was that. This was around this time last year, roughly July last year. I got my Switch in October, and I got the game in March for the Switch, I think. So there was a considerable delay. Now, for this video to make more sense, to put more context into what this video is, I just want to clarify that for most of my life, in terms of video games, I was a AAA kind of guy. Very much so. I'd play your Last of Us, your Uncharted games, your Assassin's Creed, your Infamous, your Prototypes, your Far Cries. But not so much for the Modern Warfare, the Call of Duty games, but for the most part, yes, I was a AAA guy. But during the lifespan of my PlayStation 4, and how PlayStation Plus operates with the free games, I did find myself trying out a few indie games, and it took me explicitly trying out these games for me to understand that they really are where it's at. I mean, the AAA games, they're great. Of course they're great. They have so much money and time and effort put into them. Not that, and the only difference between that and an indie game is time and effort. They're still there, but the money, not so much. I played This War of Mine and Fury on the PlayStation 4, and This War of Mine originally just felt so bleak, but it was such an experience. It was such an engaging experience that I started understanding why indie games were a thing. Tried out Fury, and it was a boss rush / walking simulator, which is the weirdest combination, but it was so fun. But despite that, I didn't really bother with much indie games still. Eventually, though, I would find myself in the middle of The Darkest Dungeon, because it was suggested by my best friend at the time. Darkest Dungeon changed the game for me. It made me fully understand how an indie game has every potential to be so much more compelling. Because I am huge, I'm a gigantic H.P. Lovecraft fan, so when I learned how deeply Lovecraftian it was, I was like, okay, I'll try it out. I couldn't stop. The game is incredibly difficult too. Darkest Dungeon is insanely unforgiving, but it's so good. It's so compelling. It's equally bleak. So that was pretty much my experience with indie games for a long, long, long time. The last time I played Darkest Dungeon was like 2 years ago. I checked my save. Yeah, it was that long ago. But then this whole global pandemic happened. I was stuck at home regardless. I wasn't doing anything. I was unemployed, so I was stuck at home regardless. But now I couldn't go out to get a job. When the time came and I was scrolling through my Switch's eShop, I did it. I got Hollow Knight. And honestly, when I first played it on the PC, considering the difficulty curve, I never thought I'd finish it. Not even a little bit. I thought it would be a game that I would play for a couple hours, a couple dozen hours even, and then it would get too difficult, and then I'd drop it for good. But that's the exact opposite of what happened. I found myself constantly at odds with putting the game down because I wanted to take one more crack at this boss who's kicking my ass, one more crack at this platforming area that's kicking my ass, and eventually I finished it. Not just that, the game has a total of 112% completion, and I'm at 110. I'm working on the last two Pantheons. They're kicking my ass still, but I still want to go. I still want to pursue it. I still want to keep going. I still want to get to that magical 112 so I can say that I've maximized the experience. I haven't even done any of the Pantheons that I finished, one or two, with bindings on. Not a single one. I'm still learning. I've already sunk a cumulative, I don't know, 100 hours at least. Which isn't a lot. I know I have a friend who's sank 600 hours on it, and she's still playing it. And because it's such a great game, it is. It's objectively a great game. But here's the clincher. I got the game in the middle of a pandemic, and that in itself was a huge comfort, but also personally, at the time, I was also going through some stuff. I had originally started going to therapy in January, but that was put on hold because nobody could go out. And I went through a breakup, and I went through a falling out with my friends. And throughout all of this, the biggest solace that I found was in Hollow Knight. Exploring Hollow Nest and fighting bosses, fighting monsters, being the hope of this little commune of bugs. There's something incredibly calming, incredibly soothing, and it gave me the strength to get through the difficulty of that a few months ago. And while I'm not 100% better just yet, Hollow Knight has absolutely helped, because despite what I was going through, the breakup, the falling out, I found the Hollow Knight community, which is a bunch of wonderful people. On YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. The Hollow Knight community is easily the best online community that I've found. And I've joined and left quite a handful. Hollow Knight community is the best by a country mile. There's something about how difficult it is, you know? There's something about the difficulty that creates such engagement between players. Like, hey, how did you do that? How did you get through this part? Can I ask for advice on what charms I can use, you know? What is the best strategy for this boss? How do I get through the path of pain? Hornet has the answer. Get good. And Path of Pain, my god, it's so much fun. I really wish I could do it again. I'm working through another save just so that I can get Path of Pain again. Anyway, to sum up, the solace that I found in Hollow Nest and in the communities that I joined that revolve around this game, they helped me through some genuinely difficult times in my life. And since I've started talking about it online, it's also helping me achieve something that I've always wanted. You know, being able to start a community of my own, have people to interact with regarding things that we have shared passion about. That's why I started this YouTube channel. Well, revived an old one, but basically, yeah. That's why I act so active in the Hollow Knight groups on Facebook, Geo and Soul posting. It's because the people are so great and the people are so welcoming. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, not old, you know what I mean. If you're new, if you're a veteran of the game, you have so much wisdom to give to the people who are just experiencing it for the first time. So, what does Hollow Knight mean to me? Well, it means everything to me. The moment I finished it, the moment I beat the Radiance, technically finished it, I knew that it had become easily my favorite game of all time, beating out BioShock Infinite. And BioShock Infinite was my favorite game for a long time, because A, the story was great, the gameplay is phenomenal, and I am absolutely, completely head over heels in love with Troy Baker. But that's a story for another day. Hollow Knight to me is more than just a game. It's a people. To steal a line from Thor Ragnarok, Hollow Knight is a people. It's a community of like-minded individuals who share a passion for something so unique. Yeah, it's a Metroidvania. Yeah, it's a 2D Soulsborne in a way, but it's so unique. It has elements from other genres of games, yes, but it's so unique, and it's my favorite game of all time. So now I want to throw it to you, because I want to ask you, what does the game mean to you? What are your Hollow Knight stories? How did you find it? How do you feel about it? Because I know how I feel about it. I'm more than interested to find out how you guys feel about it. So if you enjoyed this video, as usual, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Also, I have started streaming Hollow Knight on Twitch, twitch.tv/AlphaRex. You can also follow me on Facebook at AlphaRex the Keeper, and follow me on Twitter at AlphaRex Streams. This is AlphaRex the Keeper, signing out, you beautiful people.